Hello, my name is Matthew Malacker, and welcome to my learning strategy presentation for ED-EX 323, instruction of ELLs with special needs. Today I'll be presenting a high school U.S. history mini lesson focused on Operation Overlord, better known as D-Day, while demonstrating how the strategy of bilingual books and or labels can powerfully support English language learners in accessing complex historical content. This strategy supports ELLs by creating a bridge between their first language and English. You'll see how it helps transform a dense, detail-heavy topic like D-Day into something accessible, engaging, and meaningful for all learners. But before we get into the Do Now activity, I would like to discuss the grade level, content area, and objectives for this lesson. This lesson is designed for grades 10 through 12, pretty much a upper high school setting, and is part of a broader World War II unit in U.S. history. The focus is the Allied invasion of Normandy on June 6, 1944, and how this pivotal moment shifted the course of the Second World War. The lesson meets academic standards from the NCSS, C3 framework, and Pennsylvania's history standards. The standards are listed in the learning strategy presentation, which this video will be included in. It incorporates all four language domains: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Learning lesson objectives: analyze the strategic importance of D-Day, Operation Overlord, identify key terms, people, and locations, interpret personal accounts from soldiers, and use new vocabulary for ELLs in speaking and writing tasks. Do Now activity. This is how I would start my lesson as students are walking in. For regular learners, here is the English. There's the question. So here's the question. Have you ever pursued a distant goal in your life? What was it? Did you achieve it? And did you encounter failure? For ELLs, there is Spanish right below it. This warm-up encourages students to personally connect to the theme of perseverance, the key to understanding the soldier's mindset on D-Day. The motivational activity. View the video. Next, students view a short clip of the D-Day landings. The English prompt, view the video and consider the events taking place within it, is complemented by a Spanish prompt right below for ELLs to help understand. This video clip is from the movie Saving Private Ryan. And although Screencastify won't record screen audio, the video is it doesn't include much. There is very little dialogue in it. So for students that are ELLs, they can easily understand the video because it's mostly the soldiers landing on D-Day, and this can invoke feelings in both ELLs and English speakers because they can easily understand it. Next slide. The motivational activity. Here are the English questions, and here are the Spanish questions for the ELLs. Here is the beginning of our lesson, Operation Overlord. I included a Spanish label for ELLs. The long shot that turned the tide of the Second World War. And here is the dates of Operation Overlord. Many don't know it extended past the 6th of June. Introduction, or for ELLs, I included that. On June 6, 1944, the Allied forces launched Operation Overlord, the largest amphibious invasion in history. They landed on the beaches of Normandy, France, beginning the liberation of Western Europe. This lesson we will learn. The lead up to D-Day, the planning and strategy, the attack itself, the aftermath and legacy, and how we remember D-Day today. Here are the labels for ELLs. The Road to Overlord. By 1944, Nazi Germany had occupied much of Europe. The Allies planned a second front to relieve pressure on Soviet forces who were fighting the Germans in the east. The key events included the liberation of Rome and the appointment of General Dwight D. Eisenhower as Supreme Commander of the Western Allied forces. Using bilingual vocabulary, we present terms like troops or tropas, Germany, Alemania, and liberation or liberación. I also included aliados and in there too. Strategizing, the strategy, and the 5 beaches. Operation Overlord called for a landing of over 160,000 Allied troops along 5 key beaches on the Normandy coast: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. That's what they codenamed them, each with unique objectives. We reinforce content with bilingual visuals. The invasion, invasión, beach, playa, resistance, or resistencia. And here is the little like the little captions about what the beaches and who invaded them. Operation Fortitude, misleading the enemy, or enemigo. To confuse the enemy, the Allies launched Operation Fortitude, a massive deception effort involving fake equipment, false radio signals, and a phantom army led by General George Patton. Vocabulary supported bilingually includes phantom army and deception or engaño. Allied troops and resources. Over 156,000 troops, supported by 7,000 ships and 11,000 aircraft, participated in the invasion. The defending German force had about 50,000 troops. We highlight multilingual statistics using bilingual captions and an infographic that will help ELLs learn and understand the main scope of the invasion. Paratroopers and H-hour. Before the beach landings, paratroopers dropped behind enemy lines to secure roads and bridges. The main invasion began on H-hour under intense fire, especially at Omaha Beach, where over 2,000 American soldiers perished for freedom. And here is a video. I'm not going to play the video. It's a pretty much a primary source video on the invasion. It shows the paratroopers landing and some different perspectives from soldiers who are paratroopers. Establishing a foothold. By June 12th, the Allies had landed 325,000 troops, 50,000 vehicles, and secured a 60-mile front in Normandy. Progress was slow due to terrain and German counterattacks. We used bilingual timelines and maps to support comprehension. The students, I would have a printed map out for ELLs to help them understand this too, that would have like English and Spanish text on it. The impact of D-Day on World War II. D-Day led directly to the liberation of Paris and the eventual surrender of Germany in May 1945. It was the true beginning of the end of World War II. Here is a video of a Frenchman. The video here is of a Frenchman who family was saved by the American troops on D-Day. And in the video, there are captions. You can get captions that are in Spanish to help ELL learners. Here is the group activity. Here are what students will do is they will watch. Students are divided into groups and assigned one of 3 veteran interview videos. So each group will be assigned one of these videos. And for ELL learners, there are Spanish subtitles for them to read, help them understand. And questions would include who was the veteran in your video and what was his role during D-Day. And here is the Spanish translation of those questions for them. And all these questions and all this prompt would be transcribed into Spanish on a bilingual sheet for a Spanish speaking learner. Casualties or bajas. The estimated D-Day losses included U.S. 2,500 killed for the United States. United Kingdom had about 1,000 killed or wounded. Canada had about 381 deaths. And the Germans German casualties ranged from 4,000 to 9,000. We present these with bilingual labels for clarity, and I included casualties or bajas. Remembering D-Day. D-Day is remembered as one of the most critical military operations in history. Memorials in Normandia, and global commemorations on June 6th honor those who fought and fell for freedom and democracy for Europe and France. Before I end this lesson video, I'd like to talk about strategy and rationale and theoretical report. Why bilingual books and labels? Bilingual books and labels support content-specific vocabulary, they reduce cognitive load for ELLs, and they encourage dual language development. And theoretical backing for this comes from Jim Cummins, a famed professor. He wrote in his common underlying proficiency theory supports using students' first language to aid second language learning. Lev Vygotsky, famed psychologist, in his sociocultural theory, emphasizes the value of social interaction and scaffolding through bilingual tools. These insights validate how bilingual labeling supports comprehension and classroom inclusion. And to conclude this lesson, students close the lesson by writing a journal reflection using target vocabulary. ELLs can write in Spanish or English. The questions would include, what did you learn? How did it make you feel? And what questions do you still have? Thank you for watching this video lesson on Operation Overlord and the bilingual books and labels theory. I hope it demonstrates the power of accessible, inclusive history instruction for multilingual learners. Thank you and have a good day.